Kori Bustard, you can actually hear... Can you hear that? It sounds like a drum. Now, he's displaying, looking for a girlfriend. I just wanted to make sure we could get a really good view of him before we try to get a bit closer. And you can just hear a doop, 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 doop. There he is again. Okay, I'm going to sneak a bit closer. Now, Kori Bustards are polygamous birds. And sometimes, if you get really lucky, you can get a group of males displaying for dominance. Normally, it's quite easy to see who's the dominant one. But when they do have two that are sort of very similar in size and strength, they'll actually sort of chest bump each other to see who wins, while puffed up like that. Now, I'm hoping when we get a bit closer, we'll be able to hear that doop, 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 doop more clearly. Oh, he is off. He's really got his neck puffed out today. Now, we do see Kori Bustards often in the Mara. We don't often see the males displaying like this, though. So it is quite special, quite a treat. And you're looking for cheetah, you never know what you might find. Wait, is there another bird there? There's a girl. He's displaying for a female. How awesome is that? You can see her there. Aren't you a pretty birdie? Well, he definitely thinks so. Now watch as he... There we go. Trying to make himself as impressive as possible for that female. Like pounding on his drum. Well, Bill's wondering, how does he select his feathered female? Like with most bird species, he doesn't have a choice. She does all the selection. And she's going to select the most impressive looking, biggest, strongest male. Okay, they're very, very calm, as quite a lot of the Kori Bustards here are. So, might as well try get a little bit closer. This is very, very cool. As I said, not something you see too often. And Jahawi spotted him on the horizon. He's like, what is that? And I was like, is that a person standing there? No. It's the world's heaviest flying bird. Well, there we go. Joy was just wondering that. It is indeed the world's heaviest flying bird. Now, before, behind him, we could see some of the villages to the north of the park. So if you wanted a nice screenshot, we're going to line you up a village-free screenshot and also a frontal one. Mr. Gohan says, I hope she doesn't friends zone him. Oh, there he is. He's beating on his drum again. I'm just going to keep quiet so we can hear it. Now, she could have already mated with him, as the males will continue to display after the copulation, which is less than a second, but the build-up can take hours, sometimes days. But when they get close to mating, the female will lie down next to him, and the male will then sort of fret around her for a good 5 or 6 minutes, pecking her and sort of jumping from side to side. And then he will lower himself on top of her and then still continue to peck her for a few minutes before he does the deed. Doom, doom, doom. Mr. Zero says he looks like a king with a cape and a neck ruffle. Well, he's definitely got his crown all up. How cool is this? This is definitely not something you see every day. Matt's wondering, does he display to the female when there's another male nearby? Often, yes. Often, just by being the most impressive at displaying, he can get rid of any potential competition or other suitors to the female. Doesn't seem to have his rhythm down, does he? He's not very rhythmic in his drum beating. Let's have a look. I'm just wanted to have a quick look around. It doesn't look like there's any other competition. As I said, this can sometimes go on for days upon days, but it is still very, very cool to see. And even if maybe he's already won the female, he's still going to sit there and proudly beat on his drum for up to an hour or two afterwards. Well, that was very cool. We're going to continue our search for some cheetahs and say goodbye to the Kori Bustard.